The winner of the 2025 Royal Rumble is...
Nick, great to see you.
Come on, Nick, really?
Welcome to the best wrestling podcast in the world. Everything is wrestling. My name is Nick. This is episode Who Knows? And welcome to Royal Rumble week. Royal Rumble is my favorite PLE pay-per-view all time. Doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, indifferent. I love that the women have their own Royal Rumble match now. It's just my favorite. It's my favorite match. It's my favorite match type. It's my favorite pay-per-view. I love this time of the year. I love Royal Rumble going into WrestleMania season. It's just the absolute best. I'm so happy that we're here and we're all ready to go. This men's Royal Rumble match is as stacked as I ever remember it being. You have main eventers, you have future Hall of Famers, like you have Roman, you have Cena, you have Punk, you have Seth, you have Drew, you have potentially Randy, you have Sammy, you have Jey, all making claims for winning that main event, that World Championship, WWE Championship spot at WrestleMania. And they can all have a solid claim into why they deserve the win and the match at Mania. I wanted to go through some of the names and just talk about percentages and what I think could happen and the chances of them winning the Royal Rumble is. Let's start on the lower end. Jey Uso, I think it would be awesome to have Jey in a Mania spot and a WrestleMania spot. I just don't see it happening at the Rumble. Elimination Chamber? Maybe. But I'll give Jey maybe a 15% chance of winning the Rumble. Same thing goes with Sammy. I don't have Kevin Owens winning the WWE Championship ladder match at the Rumble, and I don't have Sammy winning the Royal Rumble. Sorry. I do think those two are on a course to face off with each other at Mania, but we'll see about that. So I'll give Sammy maybe a 10% chance of winning the Rumble. I put Seth and Drew in the same position. I wouldn't be mad at them winning the Rumble, and I think they could kind of make a case to deserve it, because you could have Drew versus Gunther at Mania and be a great match. You could have Seth versus Cody or Gunther at Mania and be a great match. I just think those two are going to get in each other's way and be so focused on CM Punk and Roman Reigns that that's going to be their downfall. I'm giving them maybe a 15 to 20% chance of winning this whole thing. John Cena being in the Rumble is amazing. We're on our retirement tour for John Cena, and I think it's just a matter of time before Cena officially goes after one of the two main titles to get that record-breaking 17th win. Does it start at the Rumble and lead into Mania? Maybe, like John Cena versus Gunther, John Cena versus Cody. Banger WrestleMania matches. I just don't know if it's happening yet. Giving John Cena 17% chance of winning the Rumble. I think he does get the world title one more time. I just don't know if it's happening this quickly. If Randy makes a surprise return at the Rumble, I'm giving him low chances of actually winning the Rumble. I think we're setting up for KO versus Randy at Mania. I don't have Randy winning it. I think I actually have Randy returning during the Cody KO match and not the Rumble itself. Low chances for Randy Orton, but I do think he's coming back at the Rumble. The two obvious picks and obvious favorites for the men's Royal Rumble is CM Punk and Roman Reigns. They're the top of the food chain in terms of winning the Rumble. I think one of those two will be the winner of the 2025 Rumble. I just don't know which one yet. There's a lot of things at play. I think with Roman, whether or not The Rock wants to be a part of WrestleMania season is a big thing, because if he does, I think we get Rock versus Roman. If he doesn't, I think we put Roman into the Cody Rhodes match. In my head, I'm seeing, if Rock isn't involved in Mania, I'm seeing a triple threat as the main event of Mania with Roman versus Cody versus CM Punk. How do we get there? I think Roman will win the Royal Rumble. The thing that keeps coming to my mind is Paul Heyman needs to do a favor for CM Punk. I think CM Punk gets eliminated from the Rumble, and he cashes in his favor, major favor, and he gets placed into the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes match at Mania. Make it a triple threat. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. My favorite to win it is Roman Reigns. I think CM Punk gets eliminated, possibly by Drew or Seth or one of his haters. And I think we get teased with Roman versus Cody 3. But then CM Punk works his way into the main event spot with the cash in of that favor. And if The Rock wants to get involved in Mania season, all these plans get thrown out the window. Rock shows up, eliminates Roman. Maybe Rock wins the Rumble. I don't know. Who knows? But if The Rock gets involved, everything I just said gets thrown out the window. But as of right now, I have it being Roman Reigns winning the Rumble, CM Punk losing, CM Punk still getting his way into the WrestleMania main event spot. Now, with the Women's Royal Rumble this year, it can get really interesting. The two champions we have are Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley. My thing is, with the last two promos of the returning Charlotte at the Royal Rumble, they have come directly before Tiffany Stratton segments, teasing us, and they're setting up Charlotte versus Tiffany at WrestleMania. Whether or not that's a byproduct of Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble, we'll see. Or they get there some other type of way. Personally, I do have Charlotte winning the Rumble. I think she's the odds-on favorite to win the Rumble and eventually face and challenge Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. But there's other picks involved too. I think there's a few other names that could make a claim and have good odds to win the Rumble. One is a not announced pick, but probably going to be there, and that's Jordynne Grace. I saw news yesterday that she's officially signed with WWE. I think if they're going to put her on the main roster, putting her in the Rumble, have her winning the Rumble is just putting a rocket to her back, and she's taking off right from there. And if I can get a Jordynne Grace versus Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania, sign me up. Another thing that they've been kind of teasing with little segments here or there is Bayley winning the Rumble and challenging Rhea. It's interesting. I think in all their time on the main roster, they've only had one singles match against each other, and that was on a random episode of Monday Night Raw a few years ago. That's a new, a fresh, a feud we haven't really seen before, and I'll be all for it. I'm okay, but do you think Bayley is a back-to-back Rumble winner? That's the thing. But I'll be for Rhea versus Bayley at Mania. Last year's Mania, they were the two women's champions coming out of Mania. This year, they could be facing each other. I'm with it. A couple other names I'm thinking of is Nia winning. Personally, I think she had a great 2024. Her winning the Rumble and going back after Tiffany after kind of just leaving it alone after she cashed in, which is weird. I'll be okay with her going back after either or, Rhea or Tiffany, if she won the Rumble. I don't think Bianca wins. I don't think Naomi wins. I think the Jade storyline starts to fully pop off at the Rumble, and that leads into the whodunit, whether or not that's Bianca or Naomi with the whole Jade thing. I think that's going to start happening at the Rumble and moving forward. So that kind of takes those three out of winning the Rumble in my eyes. Someone who hasn't been announced for the Women's Royal Rumble, but could very well make a Rumble entrance is Becky Lynch. If Becky Lynch is in the Rumble, does she win it? Or do we have her in the match to set up her own WrestleMania match? Because if she wins it, do we get Becky versus Tiffany? Or do we run back Becky versus Rhea 2 back-to-back years? I think Becky will be at the Rumble as a surprise appearance. I just don't know if she's winning the whole thing. For me, I think those are the top of the top names. I'm talking Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, Nia, and possibly Jordynne Grace as being the 5 probably favorites, with me having Charlotte at the top of that list. That's it for this episode of Everything is Wrestling. Again, my name is Nick. Find me on all socials across the board at notnick_s. If you're watching this, if you got this far, give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Give it a like on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Find me on Threads. Find me on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and kind of everywhere else. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, everything is wrestling.